Welcome back, students. This video is going to introduce you to Chapter 11, Race and Ethnicity. The first thing we need to know about race and ethnicity is that these are not the same concepts. A lot of people use them interchangeably, but they're very different. First of all, race is a social construct. Now, by social construct, I mean that it's something that people make up. There's a little biological evidence for race, but it's superficial. It's only on the outside. For example, as you can see, I have very light skin, white hair, light blue eyes. So that I have been classified as white, Caucasian. However, on the inside, I might share the same blood as, say, a person from India or an African American person from Africa. So race is only superficial characteristics and really has nothing to do with a little to do, I guess, with one's DNA. But it has nothing to do with how we could share blood, how we could share body organs, because we're all from the human species. I guess we could say the human race. Not only that, race is not easily identifiable. You might think that you can identify someone as in a certain race by looking at them, but I think I would like to challenge you to do that. If you go to a PBS Illusions of Race that's included in this unit, you will see that it's very difficult to accurately look at someone and be able to identify their race. So hopefully you'll try that activity to convince you that it's not as easy as you might think it is. Another thing we're going to obviously be looking at in this chapter is the group that has power. And even though race is a social construct, people have used it to classify people into hierarchies. So in the United States, we have a majority group, and that's the dominant group, and minority groups. Those are subordinate groups. So the difference between the majority and the minority is not in numbers, but it's in who has the power. So the dominant group, the majority group, are the people that have most of the wealth, power, and prestige. So if you look at the United States and you look at the government, you will see that the majority group, by far, is the white male, because the white male has the power, makes the most of the legislative laws, and has most of the wealth in the United States. And that's very easily seen and very easily documented by sociologists. So that's one thing we'll be looking at, is what constitutes minority groups, what constitutes the dominant majority group. The other thing that's important in this chapter is to be able to know the difference between stereotypes, prejudice, discrimination, and racism. Because people sometimes, again, use these interchangeably, but actually they're all a little different. So you need to know those differences. The last part of the chapter deals with historical and contemporary examples of intergroup relations. So here you're going to see many groups of people, and you're going to learn a little bit about their history, how they came to the United States, and what why they have a minority group status, and how that status can change from generations. For example, my ethnic history is one of Irish Catholic. My ancestors on my father's side were Irish Catholics. So when the Irish Catholics first came to the United States, they were considered a minority group and heavily discriminated against, looked down upon, looked at as having less intelligence. But of course, the Irish Catholics have assimilated into American culture and really have achieved what we call the American dream. A lot of wealthy Irish Catholics now. In fact, the Irish Catholics have become president. John F. Kennedy was Irish Catholic. So you're going to be looking at some of those groups and see how they've changed and how they started out. And then, of course, one of the last things that we'll be looking at in this chapter, as well as every chapter, are those three main theories. So in the book, for every situation, whether it's social stratification, socialization, race and ethnicity, whatever it is, the book always applies the three main theories of structural functionalism, symbolic interactionism, and conflict theory to whatever unit we're studying. So make sure that you understand that, because that's kind of the core of this class, to be able to analyze every chapter, every concept based on those three theories. So that's all I have to say about race and ethnicity. I look forward to discussing this more with you on the discussion board. See you next time.